In this video, I'm going to show you how to install gutters, downspouts and brackets to a flat roof. Now the gutters I'm going to be using is a square shape. It's got a nice kind of, more of a hexagonal shape really around there. And of course you can get the round ones, which is a kind of a half circle shape. The downspout for these style is going to be square, just like this, as opposed to a round one, which is quite commonly seen on houses. Now the brackets I'm going to be using and the joints, or these brackets here, these will be screwed into the fascia board up there, and then the gutter itself will clip into it like this. These are movable, but remember they will be fixed to your fascia board there, so the gutter will be able to slide a fraction until it's firmly fixed into position. These will get fitted on one end, then I'll fit another one on the opposite end, probably about 50 millimeters lower, because I want the fall, all the rainwater off the flat roof to travel down that way. Both ends of the gutter will have these stop end caps. These have got a rubber seal around here, and again clips that clip on and off here. Now this rubber seal here will of course be mounted and squeezed to the underside of the gutter, and these brackets then clip on the top end of here and also push then nice tight snug fit there. It snaps into position. Literally that's a nice watertight seal there now. Now some brackets and some type of gutter systems won't have these clips on, and they won't even have a rubber seal in there. Some of them are glued on the inside here or glued to the outside, so if you do get them ones, they're a little bit cheaper to buy. You can always fix them on really well with 3C's Max Bond, and it makes that perfectly watertight. Then we have a gutter drop, which is this item. So this will be fitted further down. It clips on the same as the joints on here, and of course the gutter runs into it there, and that's where the water is going to drop down into this square downspout we had earlier. That fits on the outside bottom of there to control your water. So you start off at one end with the first bracket, screwing this into position. Now this is going to be the highest bracket along the run, because of course you've got to create a fall. I'm putting a string line just on the one end, and then I've got to the opposite end of the building and I'm screwing the second bracket on. Now this is about 60 millimeters lower. This is going to give me enough fall to direct my rain through the gutter into the downspout. Then pull that string line across from one end to the other, wrap that string line around your second bracket 4 to 5 times and pull it as tight as possible so you get no slack in it. Once it's secured into position, then you can start on your second bracket. Place this into position underneath the string line, drill some pilot holes and drive a couple of screws in. These brackets are spaced about every 900 millimeters apart. Place the bracket on your mark, slowly push it up to the bottom of the string line, and then you can drill your pilot holes. Now my gutters are 4 meters in length. This is about standard. So I've measured from one end and made a mark here, which is exactly 4 meters. And this is where I'm going to be placing my joint to meet for the next 4 meter run across here. So again, you keep the bottom of that to the bottom of your string line, just checking that it is sitting nice and gently in your brackets. And if you're happy with that, you can commit and drill a pilot hole. Trying to keep it pretty level if possible. Now I've marked them, I'm just going to drill them a bit straighter. And you put 3 screws in this. They want to be at least 40 millimeters in length. This is where it gets a bit tricky, trying to screw these in with a cordless drill. So I'm not going to go all the way with it yet. I'll get the other 3 in. So that is now perfect. I'm now going to continue with the rest of my brackets along here. that's 10 brackets now in position and the joint in the centre ready for the gutters. But before I put them on there, I tend to put the end caps, these closures, on first. So you butt that right up to there. The rubber seal, of course, is here. That's butt up to there. And then your clip wants to clip on the back first. Let it just hook onto that. They're quite tight, these. You really have to squeeze them and then they kind of snap into position. There we go. There we go. Now that is really locked on tight. That is very, very rigid. You know, you're not even going to pull that off, in fairness. But that is finished now. I can lift this up into position and set that one end in the joint in the middle. Once the gutter is into position, start to squeeze that down tight up against the back end of the brackets, and you'll see the front of them will kind of clip and snap into position. Once these are snapped into position, it'll hold it still with no movement. Once that's slid into position, just like the first one, then click those brackets until they lock into position. So this is where the end of the 4 metre gutter comes to. This is my drop. This is going to be now fitted on here, my downspout in here, and then continue with a small piece of gutter and right the way past, just so it falls past the edge of the roof line there. And then my final bracket will be fixed here to hold the gutter. And then, of course, another end cap on here. I'll take these brackets off to start. Slide that into position there. That can give me a mark where I need to drill. Place that back on. Not on fully, just on loose. Let's just lift it out the way. I can get at my screw holes that little bit easier now. Place that through there. That in place. So now this should fit back in here, and with a little bit of a struggle clips into there. Lovely. Get the rest of that in. Then I'll measure from the end of my roof line there, allow another 20 or 30 millimeters, bringing it into the drop up to that little nodule. There's a little nodule about here on the back side of that, and that's where we want this gutter to slide into and butt up. And I've got about 470 there. Of course, your measurements at home is going to be different. So let's cut one of these now and then fit my final bracket in, clip it into position with an end cap, and then I can slide my pipe on here. So now my downspout slides over this sleeve here, butts right up to there, and then I'll put some brackets in here, pinning this to the wall as it goes down. I've set mine across there a little bit, one because of the length of these being 4 meters and this is only 8.5 meters in length, but I'm going to have a big water butt down the bottom there, and I still need the space to walk around it. So normally at home you probably bring these a bit closer to the end, or some people even take them round a corner with a bend there and then drop them down out of sight. But here's fine in sight, and I'm going to have a big water butt. Just a couple more brackets and then it's finished. So that's my gutters now complete. Any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll get straight back to you. If you're looking for more how-to videos, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mr. and Mrs. DIY.